I got the link, thanks. Can you add Hot 7 to the promo?
Hot 7?
They, yeah, they're going TV, Hot 7 TV, they're going live with this here.
Oh,
Mm.
well, we have some, we just had a power failure there.
Oh,
Yeah, and we just finished editing some stuff, you know. Alright. I will call him.
what happened? I just shared the link. You. Mm-hmm. It will be the same link?
It should be the same. Let me check.
Okay. Who edited the promo?
Um, what's his name? Brother?
Okay, if you could add Hot 7, that'd be great. Is he there?
We'll try, but we can't promise you anything, yeah?
Okay, because they'll be to go live. The first, I don't need to feel bad, you know how the stations are.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, no
Thanks.
problem.
We
Yeah.
look good. Okay. Bye.
Oh, let me talk to you. Yes, hey, we have a new link. We have a new link. Link of our hotel. Alright? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? How I show you. Where you are home or you're by office? That's stuff. So set it for the room. Okay. Alright. I'm just checking. Alright. Okay, no problem. No, we haven't told you. Alright. We haven't told you. Have to schedule it. Schedule it very fast. I'm sending it to Lucia. The YouTube link. How are things finished down there, right? Yeah. Um, Bret, tell me that shit happening with everybody. Alright, so Naomi said she set up the live already for Facebook. Alright. So once she go live, what's it going live, just let her know. Where's my name? Then she went to the back. So she got tell her shit happening with everybody. You sent it to her? Hmm? You sent it to her? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just sent it to her. I have to send it to him for you always got that button? No. I have to send it. I always I cannot access his number. Should be okay. That thing you have the noisy.
Good evening, St. Lucia. My name is Rihani Isidore, and welcome to Stormwatch.
And I am Julita Peter, and we are your anchors for the broadcast this evening.
Yes, we will be with you over the course of this evening to provide you with timely updates and bulletins in relation to the passage of Tropical Storm Bret. Right now, according to this advisory from the Met Services, Tropical Storm Bret is near hurricane force strength in terms of wind speeds. So we're talking up to 70 miles per hour wind gusts, and rainfall is expected or forecast to be upwards of 8 inches, I think possibly 10 inches in certain areas. So
Possibly.
Tropical Storm Bret is a serious weather event approaching our part of the Windward Islands, and by now at this point we trust the general public would have taken the necessary precautions to ensure that their homes, property, lives and livelihoods are protected.
Sure, and just to reiterate that under the advice of emergency personnel, that all residents earlier this evening were advised to remain indoors, and that should have happened before 7 o'clock this evening. So again, please heed the advice of the emergency personnel. They are the professionals on this matter, and we cannot take this for granted.
That's right. If you're at this moment, Tropical Storm Bret will begin to affect St. Lucia, according to the Met Services, this evening from about 9 p.m. in the next hour. So get to a safe place if you aren't already there. Shelter in place, of course. Stay indoors until the all clear is given. Tropical Storm Bret, once again, we have to remind you, St. Lucia, is approaching the island, and we will begin to feel the effects of Tropical Storm Bret within the coming hours. Earlier today, the NEMAC, the National Emergency Advisory Committee, held or convened a pre-strike meeting, a second meeting. Yesterday was the first of such instances. Today,
Riani, that at times there may not be anything particularly happening in your area. It does not mean that something is not happening. So do not leave it to chance. So please take all precautionary measures that you can.
All right, and just to indicate to you, the viewers, we are stationed right now at the NEMO Secretariat in Bize, Castries. In a couple of in the next room over, the NEOC has been activated. The NEOC is an entity that is responsible for monitoring the effects of Tropical Storm Bret on the various communities. They will compile reports. They will compile bulletins for action by whether it's the Prime Minister or even the NEMO director. So we are at the nucleus in terms of the coordination of pre- and post-disaster actions. And just also, you may notice, let us go back to the NEMAC pre-strike meeting convened earlier today. The Prime Minister chaired this meeting today, if I'm not mistaken.
And by the way, the Prime Minister is the chairperson of NEMAC.
Yes, that is correct. So let us revisit, start with the Prime Minister's opening remarks. He moderated today's proceedings, and if it is ready, we will take your attention to today's NEMAC meeting. So we'll be here on standby. This will give you an opportunity to get a sense as to what happens before weather hazards approach St. Louis.
Just a short summary of where they are, so we can be able to summarize our exact positions where we are, and then I'll let you go back to your respective places, so you can deal with the issues you have to deal with in house. Is that acceptable? Good. So let's start with the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Yes. Good morning, Prime Minister. Good morning, Minister of Education, CAPSEC, and the head table. And good morning to other members of the cabinet and other colleagues and the Ministry of Infrastructure or Department of Infrastructure. We've started assiduously. We started with our reviewing of our disaster response or weather-induced plan. We've had, even up to yesterday, our team and our ministry serve as the first responder. So the chief engineer had the entire troops yesterday going through our protocols, and our team are quite ready. We've prepared, and all of our supplies and our vehicles are ready, because in the event of a strike, we have to first go in there and assess and perhaps give the responses to the Prime Minister and to CAPSEC in order for the all clear to be determined. In terms of what we've done physically on ground, we've started our desilting program, analyze and assess the critical areas. So we have had excavators and other equipment and other personnel working and getting work done. That should allay the fears of the public to a great extent. We've also even doing a bit of cutting of some overhangs that we believe we may pose a risk to the public. And so we continue to receive calls and requests for us to respond and to act. So we've done and responded to quite a bit of it. One I can say is, for example, the Castries Constituency Council. So we've went in, double-checked the pumps. We have one pump on the waterfront with two pumps in here in that pump house. We've assessed them, and we've also had our pump attendant on standby and ready to go. One they are supposed to come in automatically. In the event that it is not, then he will switch it on. There's also another one within the compound, in Slasper's compound, that we've already checked, and they are in working order. So on this basis, we believe that there's a certain degree of comfort within the city when it comes to the pumping equipment. Overall, I can see Prime Minister and the team that Ministry of Infrastructure, and one of the things I say is where we get our anxiety is whether our team will be and are ready to respond. So our human resource, we believe they're sufficiently oiled, they're sufficiently motivated, and they are, at this point, appreciative of when the all clear will be given. Because sometimes they get nervous about whether the all clear are for the first responders. Should the first responders, at what point do the first responders go out? So that, I think, there's been a lot of attempts to try to clarify the situation, and I think this has been done sufficiently. Although we can reiterate it at this meeting, I think it's important for all of us to know when should the first responders, what is the all clear, and when should the first responders go out. And then that would be followed by that all clear to the public that you can now proceed. Issuing our pre-hurricane program, so we identify a series of water courses.
NEMAC presenting today at the pre-strike meeting. Again, St. Lucia is under tropical storm watch and hurricane warning. And the difference, you might be wondering, what is the difference between a watch and a warning? A watch is issued.
Just to jump in,
yes.
We're under tropical storm warning.
Yeah, warning, sorry.
Hurricane
watch, yes.
Yeah.
And a watch is issued when hurricane conditions are possibly with, 48 hours, between 48 hours.
Right.
And the warning is when it's expected within 36 hours. So it's really sort of a time difference.
And if I may just jump in here, watch and warning at the same time, it's simultaneous. This is because the wind strengths are so close to qualify for Category 1 hurricane. I think, if I'm not mistaken, a Category 1 hurricane typically averages wind gusts up to 73 miles
and
per
so
hour.
what we have with Bret is 70, so which is very close.
According to the 6 p.m. Weather report, Bret carries winds up to 70 miles an hour. So it's not too far off. All the more reason why St. Lucia should heed the necessary warnings, all the warnings from the NEMO, from the Met Services. Bret should not be taken lightly under any circumstances.
Okay, so we want to go back to another presentation which was made at the NEMAC meeting this morning. And
I happen to be on the margins of the NEMAC meeting. Like I said earlier, various stakeholders would have given their reports in terms of that would have detailed the actions taken to ensure their respective sectors, companies, public infrastructure, and so on, all the steps that would have been taken to ensure the most effective mitigating measures to protect against damage
Sure.
and to save lives and livelihoods are activated. In a few moments, we hope you will hear from the Minister of Tourism and other related tourism
Yes.
stakeholders. It is common knowledge that tourism is one of the main drivers of the economy. It is the biggest employer in St. Lucia. So the tourism stakeholders, the minister, would have